Welcome back to Mindshift, where we explore the bleeding edge of tomorrow's world. Today, we're diving into a story that sits right on the uncomfortable line between innovation and intrusion. Imagine a technology so advanced it can look at your face and know what you're thinking. Not just happy or sad, but the complex tapestry of your inner world. This isn't science fiction from a forgotten novel. It's the premise behind a new prototype system called FutureFace. In a sleek, minimalist clinic of the near future, developers unveiled this groundbreaking AI. The claim? By analyzing thousands of micro-expressions, muscle twitches, and subtle shifts in your facial dynamics per second, FutureFace can create a real-time map of your thoughts and emotional patterns. The developers hailed it as a revolution in empathy, a tool for therapists, negotiators, and even parents to better understand each other. It promised to bridge the gaps in human communication, to make the unseen seen. The potential applications seemed limitless, from helping patients who can't speak to detecting deception in high-stakes legal cases. It was presented as the ultimate lie detector, a window into the soul. But as with any window, the question is, who's looking in? And what do they see? Naturally, the world was divided. Some saw a utopian dream, a future free of misunderstandings. Others saw a dystopian nightmare, the end of privacy as we know it. To cut through the hype, skeptical journalist Alara Vance was granted exclusive access to test the system. She wasn't interested in the polished demos with paid actors. She wanted to see how FutureFace handled the raw, unpredictable chaos of real human emotion. She decided to bring three very different people to the clinic, each representing a unique facet of the human experience. Her goal was simple: to see if a machine could truly comprehend what it means to be human, or if it was just a sophisticated mirror, reflecting back our own biases. Her first subject was a woman named Anya, a mother whose face was a portrait of quiet, profound grief. Her son had passed away a year prior, and the sorrow was a constant, silent companion. Anya sat before the FutureFace sensor, a small, unassuming camera that whirred softly. On the large screen beside her, a complex web of data began to form. Words and phrases flickered into existence: deep sadness, reminiscence, cyclical thought patterns, suppressed anger. The machine correctly identified the core emotion, but its interpretation was cold, clinical. It noted a slight upturn of her lips, a micro-expression lasting a fraction of a second, and labeled it fleeting positive memory. But Alara, sitting with Anya, knew the truth. That smile wasn't just a happy memory. It was the bittersweet pain of remembering her son's laugh, a moment of joy forever tangled with the agony of his absence. The machine saw a data point. Alara saw a soul grappling with love and loss. The AI couldn't grasp the paradox of smiling through tears. Next came Marcus Thorne, a high-powered CEO whose entire career was built on unshakable confidence and control. He strode into the room like he owned it, a smirk playing on his lips. He saw FutureFace as a challenge, a toy to be outsmarted. As he sat down, the system began its analysis. The screen lit up with terms like high confidence, strategic thinking, assertiveness, and low empathy. It seemed to have him pegged. But then Alara noticed something the machine didn't highlight. For a split second, when a notification about a market downturn flashed on his personal device, his eyes widened almost imperceptibly. A flicker of fear, FutureFace logged it as startled response or momentary surprise, but dismissed it as an anomaly against the overwhelming data of his confidence. It failed to see the crack in the armor, the deep-seated anxiety about failure that drove his ambition. The machine saw the mask because the mask was what he wore 99.9% of the time. It couldn't comprehend that the most telling truths are often found in that hidden 0.1%. Thorne left the room convinced he'd beaten the machine, but Alara realized the machine had never even been in the game. It was playing checkers, while he was playing three-dimensional chess with his own emotions. The final test was the most telling. Alara brought in a 7-year-old child named Leo. Children are emotionally unfiltered, their faces a canvas of pure, transient feelings. Leo was fascinated by the blinking lights of the machine. He laughed, he pouted, He got distracted by a fly in the room. All within the span of 30 seconds, the FutureFace system went into overdrive. The screen became a chaotic mess of contradictory labels: joy, frustration, curiosity, boredom, anxiety, playfulness. The machine was trying to nail down one coherent emotional state, but it couldn't. It was like trying to capture the shape of water. To the AI, Leo was a system error, an unreadable stream of noise. But to Lara, he was simply a child, living completely in the present moment. The machine was looking for a logical narrative, a consistent emotional thread. It wasn't programmed to understand the beautiful, nonsensical chaos of a child's imagination. It saw randomness where there was just pure, unadulterated being. As Lara reviewed the day's results, the truth became chillingly clear. FutureFace wasn't a window into the soul of the person being observed. It was a mirror reflecting the mind of the observer. When the developers, driven by logic and data, looked at the results, they saw patterns and metrics. They saw Anya's grief as a treatable condition, Marcus's fear as a weakness to be exploited in business, and Leo's imagination as noisy, useless data. They saw what their own worldview allowed them to see. The machine didn't interpret emotion. It simply provided raw data, which was then filtered through the prejudices, assumptions, and limited understanding of the person reading the results. The real danger of FutureFace wasn't that it could read our minds. The danger was that it made us think it could. It gave the observer a false sense of objective truth, a godlike power to judge the inner world of another person without any of the context, empathy, or shared experience that true understanding requires. The machine knew that Anya's facial muscles formed a smile, but it couldn't know the love and pain behind it. It knew that Marcus's pupils dilated, but it couldn't know his deep-seated fear of losing everything. It knew that Leo's expression changed 50 times in a minute, but it couldn't know the wonder of a child discovering the world. Alara's final report was not the glowing endorsement the company had hoped for. She concluded that FutureFace and technologies like it don't make us more empathetic, they make us lazy. They encourage us to outsource the deeply human work of listening, of being present, of connecting with another person. We stop trying to understand each other and instead, we just consult the machine. And the machine's answer will always be a simplified, distorted echo of our own biases. It tells us what we want to believe about others. The grieving mother is just sad, the ruthless CEO is just confident, the imaginative child is just chaotic. We use the technology to flatten the beautiful complexity of human beings into neat little boxes that we can easily understand and control. So, what's the takeaway from this near-future cautionary tale? It's that true understanding isn't about data, it's about connection. It's messy, it's difficult, and it can't be automated. As we race towards a future filled with incredible technology, we have to be careful not to lose the very thing that makes us human. Our ability to see beyond the surface, to feel for one another, and to understand that a person is always more than what their face is showing at any given moment. What do you think? Would you trust a machine to read your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching Mind Shift. If you found this thought-provoking, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to join us on our next journey into the future.